Good morning, everyone. In today's class, we will discuss a few SQL queries. So, before moving to the fourth module, so consider this particular relational schema containing five tables: customer, item, sales, supplier, and supply. So, here the customer table will hold the basic details of a customer like name, email ID, address, and phone number. So here the customer will be purchasing few of the items. So those product or item details will be stored in this particular item table. It includes a unique number to identify a particular item, then the name, its price and brand. And in the sales table, it includes the details of the products purchased by a particular customer. So it has the CID, which is used to identify the customer, and the item number that is used to identify the product or item that is purchased by the customer. Then the quantity of that particular item, that is hash item, amount, sale dates. So in reality, we cannot use hash symbol in giving a name to attribute, but since this is not the real one that we are going to implement, so we shall consider the attribute name as hash items. Supplier table includes the details of a supplier, that is the ID to identify uniquely, then name of the supplier, phone number and address. Then supply table includes the relationship between the supplier and the item. So which means which supplier has provided that particular item. So supply includes supplier ID, item number, the date of supply and the quantity. So, so this is the relational schema. Now let us look at the queries one by one. So again, this the schema that has been asked in the exam. So list the items purchased by the customer Prashant. Next, retrieve items supplied by all suppliers starting from 1st January to 30th Jan 2019. Get the details of customers whose total purchase of items worth more than 5,000. List total sales amount, total items, average sale amount of all items. Then display customers who have not purchased any items. So let us write and discuss these five queries. So first one, list the items purchased by the customer Prashant. So when we look at a statement like this, we must identify in which tables the details that are required to write this particular query is present. So first, the detail that we need is the customer name, that is Prashant. So customer name is present in which table? So we can get this detail from customer table, right? And then the list of items is not required here, but the items purchased by Prashant. So where do we get the items purchased? So the items purchased is present in the sales table, right? So in the sales table, you can look at here, it contains the customer, item number and the other details. So next thing is we must link these two tables, right? But here additionally what is being asked is list the items. So if whenever these kind of things are asked, so if we just link sales and customer table, we will just get the item number. because that is the only thing that is present in the sales table. But if we want the name, price, brand of the items, so we won't get it here, because only a number we will get, because in sales table, so we are having only item number. So possibly what we can do is, we can additionally link the item table while listing. We can link the item table so that we will be able to get the name of the item. So otherwise, if we just need the item number, then these two tables are sufficient. So that is sales and customer. If we want a name, then we need to include the item table. So now let us see how to link these two tables. So sales and customer, how do we link? So any common attributes present between sales and customer? Yes, the common attributes that is present is the CID. So that is, here also the attribute name is CID. On here, this side also the attribute name is CID. So on this attribute, so we can join the sales and customer table. Next, how to join the item and sales table? So look at these two tables. So any common thing that is present? So the common attribute that is present is item number. So these two tables can be um, joined by the attribute, so that is item number. So on both the sides, the attribute name is the item number. Then in order to put the condition, this customer Prashant, so we can add a condition. So that is, the C name is equal to Prashant. So this is how we can build the queries. So first we will identify which tables are required for us. Then we will decide how to join the tables, followed by the conditions that are given in the query itself. So when we put all these together, a query will look like this. So what are the things that we extract? The attributes include select, item number, name of the item, and number of items. So this is the details of the items. From which table? Customer, C alias is C, item I, sales, yes. So link the customer and sales table using C.CID is equal to S.CID. And you can link the I and S table include I dot item number is equal to S dot item number. And finally, we'll include C dot C name is equal to Prashant. So this is the complete query where we will join three tables along with the condition, that is customer name. So this is the first query. So let us move on to the second one. Retrieve items supplied by all suppliers starting from 1st Jan to 30th Jan. So just identify where these details are present. So what is the first thing it is given here? It is a date. So items supplied by all suppliers. So which means we are not bothered about who has supplied. The only thing is the date. And again here it is asked to retrieve the items. So in which table it is present? So this is present in item table. So supplying date, where it is present. So if you look at in the item table, date is not present. In the supply table, the supply date is present. So in order to get this particular information, we need the supply table. So how to link these two tables? So just identify whether there are any common attributes between item and supply. So if you observe here, this item table and supply table, there is no, are there any common attributes? Yes. So that is the item number. So these two tables can be joined using the condition I dot item number is equal to S dot item number. So that is a join condition. And further, they have asked it is the supply should have happened between these two particular dates. So the additional condition what we can put is supply date. So since two date is given, we can use the between operator. So supply date is between. So first Jan 2019 and 30th Jan 19, like this. So this completes the query. So how many tables are required? So only two tables, item and supply table. Okay. So whenever you are writing a query, make sure that the attribute names, whatever you have written, so that is in the same case as that is mentioned in the question. So here while just writing, I have written in lower case, but when you write the query, so write it in uppercase only. Okay. So finally, when we put all the things together, so the query will be like this. So select SID item number from supply, where supply date between these two. So in this query, if you observe, just like our previous example, only the item number will be present. No other information about the item is possible over here, because only one table is sufficient. But if we want the item name, we can add those things here. So supply, we will put yes, then supply, it is yes, then another table, it is item I. Okay. So here SID S dot item number, then I dot item number, then over here I dot item name, and S dot supply date is between this and this. So additionally, the other condition, join condition, we can mention like this. So S dot so item number is equal to I dot item number. Okay. So this is the full query which we can write, where we will get the item name also. If we just use a single table, we will not be possible to get the item name. Suppose in the question, they may ask retrieve here names of all items supplied, then compulsorily we have to use two tables because name will be asked. So it is always a good habit to mention the names of the products, items, or customers in a query, rather than just by writing the IDs or numbers. related to the tuples. So this is a complete query for this particular question. So let us look at the next one, that is get the details of customers whose total purchase of items worth more than 5000 rupees. So what are the things that is required? Details of the customers. So details of the customers means it is present in which table? So it is present in customer table. Then whose total purchase of items worth more than 5000 rupees. So where is the purchase details present? So purchase details, it is present in the sales table. So sales table. So how to link these two? So which is the common attribute that is present in sales? So that is CID. Customer also we have CID. So customer CID is equal to here sales dot CID. So that is one thing. So then here additionally what is being asked here is a particular customer should have bought items worth more than 5000. Here if you look at the attributes of this particular sales table, CID is present, item number is present, number of items, amount and sale date. So one tuple of sales will be related to one customer and one item. But a customer would have brought many number of items. In the question, it is not asked whether it is about the single item or all the items. So since that is not mentioned whether it is of a single item, we have to consider all the items. So an example entries would look like this. CID 1, so item number 101, so quantity 3, amount 1000 and sale date is 20th Jan 2019, 190 like this. So the same customer may have brought another item 2000 on some other date, are the same 3000 on 20th Feb. So if you observe here, the same customer one has brought different items on different dates. So date doesn't matter. So here the amount, what we have to do is we have to sum all of it. So this person has brought 6000 worth of products. So for each customer, we have to sum all the sales tuples in order to get what amount of purchase that particular customer has made. Because in the question, it is not mentioned whether it is of single product or all the products. So if it is not mentioned, we'll assume that it is for all the products. Because here items, plural form is used. So what we have to do is, so we need two tables. So yes, customer and sales, and we will join these two based on the attribute that is CID. So once we join this, the two tables get joined. So next thing is we need to group them based on the CID. So we have to group it on the CID using which class? So group by class. So we will group it based on the CID, and then we have to apply one more condition, that is the amount should be greater than 5000. So whenever we are applying a condition on a group, so here we have to apply the condition on a group but not on an individual tuple. So in SQL, whenever we want to apply a condition on an entire group, then we have to include the having clause. So in the having clause, we will write the sum of amount it should be greater than 5000. So joining these two tables and putting this will get us the required information. So let us look at the complete query. So yes, so select CID sum amount, sales yes, group by CID sum of amount. So here again details of the customer is asked, so we need two tables, so and join them. Okay, so for that what we have to do, we have to add the customer table, so customer C, so so C dot name. See, since we need the name attribute, so we have to include the name also over here. So if we don't write a name in group by class, so we cannot use it over here. Okay, so then yes dot sum is equal to this, but yeah, where clause has to be included over here. So that is where C dot SID is equal to S dot SID. So in two ways, so we can write a query for this using a single table where we won't get the name, and joining these two tables along with the where class, we can get the customer name also. So if we require email ID, address and phone number, then we have to include it in the list of attributes over here, and also we have to list it in the group by clause also. So this is two ways of writing the query. So it is, so this is a single one where we use only one table. So next query, list total sales amount, total items and average sale amount of all items. So total sales amount, total items, average sale amount of all items. So where this particular information is present. So this particular information is present in the sales table. So where we have the item number, number of items and amount. So total amount, total items, average sale amount. So we need aggregate operations over here. So in order to get the total sales amount, so the aggregate operator which we use is sum. So sum of amount. Then total items can be obtained using sum of hash items. Then average sale amount, so which we can use using the aggregate function, that is average represented by AVG. So AVG of amount. On which table? So on the sales table. Okay. So here again only list is asked, so we will write only item numbers. So if required, we can join sales and item also. So a query will look like this. So select sum of amount. So total items means we can use sum if we want to add this particular, or if we want number of items, though, then we can use count. So count will give us how many items are purchased. Then average sale amount, that will give the sales. So here again one modification we can make if required. So here this one. So count items. So this is one, or we can use sum. Again, there is a difference between these two aggregate operators. So don't use this. So use this one. Based on the question it is asked here, it is a total items. So total items means this one. Or if we want the number of items, if the number of items are asked, then we can use count of item ID or item number. So this one. So you can write a count on item number itself. So that will take only the unique item numbers and will give us the number of items. So since total is asked over here, so we have to use sum. So another query. So display customers who have not purchased any items. So we need customers who have not at all purchased any of the items. So now look at the tables where we will get this purchased and not purchased information. So here, so we will get all the customer information in customer table, and the purchase information is present in the sales table, because in the sales table we have CID. So another thing is sales. But here what is asked is not purchased. So if a customer has not purchased any items, then his entry will not be in sales table. So sales table will contain only those customers who have purchased the items, whereas it doesn't contain those who don't purchase. So here let us assume the customer IDs are like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the sales, so we assume that customer 1, 2 and 4 have purchased the items. So if the data is like this, then which are the customers who have not purchased the items? So customers who have not purchased will be, so 3 and 5. So how we arrived at this 3 and 5? So that is the set minus operator, right? So this set minus this will give us the result. So customer table will contain all the customers, sales table will contain only those customers who have purchased it. Then when we perform the set minus operation, so we will get this particular details. So again, this query can be solved in two ways. So one is, since we have direct minus operator in SQL, we can use that, or we can use an alternate way. We can use not in operator also. So let us look at the first way of writing it. So it is like this. Select CID from customer. So this will extract all the customers. Then minus select distinct CID from sales. So from sales table also we are extracting the CID, and set minus operation will happen over here, and it will return the CIDs of uh, all the customers who have not purchased the product. But we must take care that when we are using the set operations, so the two results should be set compatible. Okay, so set compatible means the attribute which we list in the select clause should be of same type and same number of attributes should be present. Okay, so this is one way of writing it. So another alternate way of writing it will be like this. So, so select CID from customer where CID not in. So this is the operator which we are using. Not in. So this side what happens? It will extract all the CIDs of the customers and we will only pick that is not present in the sales table. So here we will write select s dot CID from which table? It is the sales table. So sales, yes, that's it. Simple. Even if multiple CIDs are present, so it doesn't matter because it is a set minus operation and not in is used. So like this. So why we have used alias over here? Because CID and the CID that is present outside, they get collided. So it will be treated as a correlated nested query. So in order to avoid that, so we can put the aliases, right? So the alternate way of writing this query is select CID from customer where CID not in. So a set minus operation can be performed in two different ways. Okay. So next we shall discuss one more database. So consider the following tables: works, project name, C name, salary, lives, P name, street and city, located in C name and city. So these are the information. Works, lives in, located. Only three tables. So these two are having P name common. Here C name. So here also C name is there. So then city. So here persons where he works, what is the salary, and where he lives or where he is located in. So all this information is captured over here. Project name, customer name, salary, project name, street and city, and C name, city. So here C name is not the customer, it is the company. So first query that is asked is list the names of people who work for company Wipro along with the cities they live in. Okay. So here the company name is Wipro. That is a condition. And we must print the result which contain all the people who are working in Wipro. That's it. So again here P name means it is the person. So the short forms. Okay. So it's only when we look at the queries, so we'll understand what are these short names. So when we first look at it, we thought it is a project name, but when I look at the query, then we came to know it is the person. So it is the P name means person, C name means it is the company. Okay. So only when we look at the queries, we'll understand these short terms. So let's go back to the first query. So what is asked over here is, uh, we must extract the names of people who work in Wipro and along with the cities they live in. So it is the lived in. So lived in present in lives table, and in which company they work, that is present in works table. So in order to solve this, so we need two tables, that is works and lives. So works and lives. So how to link these two tables? So it is through P name, that is the person name. Okay. So our query will look like this. So select names of the people is required. So people name means it is the person name, that is the P name. Company, it is they have given, that is Wipro, along with the city name. So where is the city name present? So it is present in the leaves table. So you can write like this: W, then we can write W dot city. Okay. In W, city is not present, so it is in L actually. So L dot city from. So W means, so it is works table W, then leaves L. So because in the question the live in is asked. Okay. So how to join these two? So W dot P name is equal to L dot P name. And additionally, the condition that is asked over here is the company name should be Wipro. So where is the company name information that is present? So that is the C name. So that is present in works table. So W dot C name is equal to, so it is Wipro. Yeah. This forms the entire query. So where it will print all the people along with the city they live in and those who works in Wipro. Okay. So this is the first query. Let us look at the second query. Find the names of persons who do not work for Infosys. So here we just need the a person who doesn't work in Infosys. So where the person and company name information is present, so it is present in the works table. So in the works table only we will get all the information, the person name and the company name. So you can directly write the query like this. So select person name from works table where, so it is mentioned as do not work. Do not work means the C name not equal to Infosys. So not equal to is sufficient over here. So that solves the second one. Next, third one, find the people whose salaries are more than that of all of the Oracle employees. So here we need to list all the persons who are taking the salary that is greater than the salary of all employees of Oracle. So which means we need two things. First, we need to extract what is the maximum salary of Oracle employee. Then we have to find who gets greater than that. So how to get the salary information of Oracle? So since it is more than all, so we can write the query like this: select. So we can get the maximum salary of Oracle. Max of salary from which table? So works table. So let us give an alias W over here. So here also we'll write W dot salary, where cname, again W dot cname is equal to Oracle. So what happens now? We will get all the uh, we will first extract all the employees who work in Oracle, and then we'll get the maximum salary. So here it is W dot salary, here W dot cname. Now what happens? We have to extract the person who get more salary than this one. So if you observe, this entire thing will give us only one value, that is the salary. Let us say 6 lakh, right? So one number we will get. Then we have to extract all the people who get more than this particular salary amount. So then we can write the outer query. So select w1 dot person name. So if you want, we can put the salary also. Salary from works w1, where w1 dot salary, it is greater than this one, right? So this is the query. So first, in the inner query, we will extract the maximum salary of Oracle. Then we'll utilize this. In the outer query, we'll put w1 dot salary should be greater than this entire thing. So when this query is executed, so this entire part what we have here, this one will be replaced by the value, actually, because this is not a, there is no correlation. So this entire thing will be replaced by the value of the salary, that is 6 lakh. So let us look at the last one. Find the person who works and lives in the same city. So where is the city information? So city is information is presented, lives and located. So we want the person details. So person details is also present in the lives table itself. So we don't need works table. So only two tables are required for us, these two. So that is lives and located. So what is the condition? The city should be same. But if you look at here, here we have a person city. Located is company city. So it is person city, company city. But in order to relate the person and company, we will require the help of works table. So which means all the three tables are required for us over here. Because person to company information is present in works, and here the person city information is there. Located means where he works, so that is present in located table. So all the three tables are required in order to solve this particular query. So what will be the starting one? So select, so we need the person name, that is w dot p name, let us write. And we can also get the city information using city information is not in present in works, so we have to change it to l dot city. So let us write l dot city. Okay. From, so which tables we need? So first is works table, so let us call this as w. Then lives table, let us call this as x. L and located in. So let us call this as Li. Okay. So leaves located. Then combine the tables. So W dot. So first let us link the works and links. So W dot P name is equal to L dot P name. Okay. And the other joining will be company through company name, right? So C dot W dot C name is equal to, so Li dot C name. So the company name is joined. So company name is present in this one and this one. Okay. So works and located in. So whereas person name is present in works and lives. So joined. Next, another condition that is asked in the query is they must live and work in same city. So that is L dot city should be equal to Li dot city. So this is the final query. Okay. So this will extract the details of the person who live and work in the same city. Okay. So that's it for today's class. So we can stop over here. So in tomorrow's class also we will discuss the same sort of queries. So you can put your attendance and exit.